What's going on, everybody? It's been a long time since I've created a video. Um, just wanted to apologize for not being able to help as many people as I wanted to. I have been trying my best to answer questions that people post on my comments, and I do appreciate each and every one of you. I do appreciate your viewership and your support, and I hope that all this information that I provide to you guys helps. Like I mentioned before, I've been going through a lot of stuff. The enemy has been trying to prevent me from, you know, seeking out the truth, posting about it online, helping people and supporting people. But hey, I'm just trying to slide my way back in and doing the best that I can with what I got. So with that being said, let me just go ahead and get into it. What I wanted to do is actually just start out by just reading off the UCC Connection. It's a book that you can buy on Amazon for $5 if I'm not mistaken. The UCC Connection, How to Free Yourself from Legal Tyranny. It's a great book. That and another book that's also called Give Yourself Credit, Money Doesn't Grow on Trees by David E. Robinson, and also Meet Your Straw Man and Whatever You Want to Know. So these are tremendous books, jam-packed with a bunch of information in a small little book. It's so filled with so much value that I really do appreciate you guys, reading this stuff, because at least you'll be able to help educate yourself. I think there was one comment that I received about me, or calling me a clown or something like that, or ignorant, or a con artist, something like that. I forgot exactly, but it's really sad when people, they don't realize how ignorant they are of the situation that they're in, the world that they live in. That rather than to seek out for information and to research and to think for yourself, you go ahead and call people just names, right? Just out of pure ignorance. Not that I really care. It's actually, I'm actually just saying that out of pure disappointment or pity, really. And unfortunately, I've realized throughout these past 2 or 3 years, since 2020, right, since the kid, oh, I'm gonna have to censor that. That those are the type of people that we have to be living with, unfortunately, and they're not gonna stop, and that's just the way it is. And that's one thing that I've actually come to found peace in, because at first I was so pessimistic about people. But I mean, at the end of the day, people are only trying to do the best they can with what they got, right? And so, it is what it is, and oh well, the only thing I can do is to help educate and inform people as much as I can, rather than my friends and family, because my friends and family members aren't going to listen. So if they aren't going to listen, I might as well just speak to strangers about it, and hopefully they can help educate their friends and family members, and so forth and so forth. So with that being said, let me go ahead and just start reading this. One thing you guys have to realize is that a lot of these things that you're going to find out and discover as you go along in your own personal journey with understanding contract law and the world that we live in and the system that's been built, is that a lot of these principles are actually taken off of the Bible. And for some of you who don't believe in Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, it's going to be very hard and maybe even painful, because of the cognitive dissonance that you're going to be experiencing throughout all this reading that you're going to be doing. That is that a lot of these principles come from the Bible, and they're respected in law. For example, the family Bible. A lot of people don't know that, but that is an actual, true, legitimate form of documenting your family and yourself, your children. It's the only thing I can do really is just to pray for you, and just hopefully you'll be able to realize that there's a lot of truth to what the Bible says, because it's being respected and it's being implemented in our laws and the way our system is built. And the only way for you to get yourself out of it is by learning this and by reading the Bible. So I challenge you just to keep an open mind and study, and hopefully you'll be able to see and realize that the world that we live in is actually, or at least the country, the world that we live in isn't as what it seems. And that's by design, right? The devil, Satan, that's what he does. He's a trickster. The father of lies, right? The father. Imagine being the father of lies. That must mean you are a mastermind of your craft. And that's what he is, and that's what he does. Let me just go ahead. Let's just start reading this. So again, this is the UCC connection, how to free yourself from legal tyranny. I'm actually going to be reading this in section by section, so just to make it easier for you guys to consume. Right, I do encourage you guys to buy your own copy. It's only $5, and just study and research this on your own. But I'll just go ahead and start reading now. So the frustrations many Americans feel about our judicial system can be overwhelming and often frightening, and like most fear, it is based on the lack of understanding or knowledge. Those of us who have chosen a path of our out of bondage and into liberty are faced eventually with the seemingly tyrannical power of some governmental agency and the mystifying and awesome power of the courts. We have been taught that we must get a good lawyer, or should I say a liar, but that is becoming increasingly difficult, if not impossible. If we are defending ourselves from the government, we find that the lawyers quickly take our money and then tell us that the ship is sinking. Quote, I can't help you with that. I'm an officer of the court. Ultimately, the only way for us to ever have a snowball's chance is to understand the rules of the game and to come to an understanding of the true nature of the law. The lawyers, have established and secured a virtual monopoly over this area of human knowledge by implying that the subject is just too difficult for the average person to understand, and by creating a separate vocabulary out of English words of otherwise common usage. While it may at times seem hopelessly complicated, it is not that difficult to grasp. Are lawyers really as smart as they would have us believe? Besides, anyone who has been through a legal battle against the government with the aid of a lawyer has come to realize that lawyers know procedure, not law. Two very different things, by the way. And right here, he's referencing the scriptures. Luke chapter 11, verse 45 through 52. I'll read it in the New International Version, just so that it's easier for you to understand. One of the experts in the law answered him, Teacher, when you say these things, you insult us also. Jesus replied, And you, experts in the law, you lawyers, woe to you because you load people down with burdens they can hardly carry, and you yourselves will not lift one finger to help them. Woe to you, experts in the law, because you have taken away the key to knowledge. You yourselves have not entered, and you have hindered those who were entering. Going back to the book, besides, anyone who has been through a legal battle against the government with the aid of a lawyer has come to realize that lawyers learn about procedure, not about law. Mr. Freeman admits that he is not a lawyer, and as such, he has a way of explaining law to us that puts it well within our reach. Consider also that the framers of the Constitution wrote in language simple enough that the people could understand, specifically so that it would not have to be interpreted. So again, we find, as in many other areas of life, the buck stops here, end quote. It is we who must take the responsibility for finding and putting to good use the truth. It is we who must claim and defend our God-given rights and our freedom from those who would take them from us. It is we who must protect ourselves, our families, and our posterity from the inevitable intrusion into our lives by those who live parasitically off the labor, skill, and talents of others. To these ends, Mr. Freeman offers a simple, hopeful explanation of our plight and a peaceful method of dealing with it. Please take note that this lecture represents one chapter in the book of his understanding, which he is always refining, expanding, and improving. It is, as all bits of wisdom are, a point of departure from which to begin our own journey into understanding, so that we all might be able to pass on to others greater knowledge and hope, and to God the gift of lives lived in peace, freedom, and praise. And that's exactly what inspired me to create this YouTube channel, informing people, educating people, and in return, just spreading the word as much as possible through that. And so, again, I thank you very much for your viewership. Thank you very much for listening. I'll go ahead and stop it here because I believe it's already been past 10 minutes. and I want to keep my videos short. But thanks again. I appreciate you all subscribing to this YouTube channel, even though I haven't put out any content for like the past 4 or 5 months. I really do appreciate it. And having said that, the holidays are upon us. You know, just want to say happy holidays to you guys. God bless you. Thank you for listening, and I'll try to return as soon as possible. Thank you.